There's never a shortage of amazing players in the NBA, and that's the same for this season too. From centers to power forwards, every player specializes in something. But point guards are the main powerhouse on the court. They basically make the play. Some of them are good at it, and others not so much. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the top 10 point guards in the NBA right now. First off, at number 10, we have Kyrie Irving. Hands down, Kyrie Irving is one of the best point guards on the court. Not only does he have moves that'll leave your jaw hanging open in shock, but he plays as if the ball is an extension of his hand. His crossovers are legendary. His fakes manage to fool the best, and he's also had some iconic dunks. So why is he at number 10? Irving has the makings of being in the top 5 for sure, but the only problem is the limited number of times he gets on the court. Because of some reason or the other, he's able to play very little throughout the season. He gets injured frequently, and there was also an issue when he refused to get vaccinated, which was against the guidelines, so he wasn't allowed to play. On the games that he's played, on the other hand, he's dominated the court, with career highs of even 50 and 60 points in a single game. He still looks like he's in his prime, so let's see what the future has in store for him. At number 9, we have Darius Garland. There are some players who enter the league with a bang. They have natural talent and they're on fire from day one. And there are others who had a rough start, but they eventually improved and became the best later on. Garland is the latter. His improvements have been impressive, and he's also managed to get one All-Star team selection and is on the way to another. He may not be the best at defense, but his offense makes up for that. His shot accuracy has improved by a huge margin, and he has an amazing court vision lending him to make great plays on the court. As one of the best playmakers, he certainly makes up for his lack of talent in defense. In the last season, he had 7 games with 30-plus points, with an outstanding 89.2 average of free throws, 38.3 free throws, and 8.6 assists. He might just become one of the top players in the league. At number 8, we have James Harden. We all know the force Harden was with the Rockets. Basketball rules require 5 players on the court, but we don't think this rule applied to Harden. He was a one-man show when it came to offense, but sadly, he hasn't played well since then. Although he still makes a contribution with the 76ers, it's just not the same, but his playmaker abilities might just take him farther. His pick and roll play is one of the most famous and successful ones if executed properly. He's put in the work this season to prove to everyone that he hasn't reached his end yet. We've seen what he's like during his prime, and he looks like he's back on that track again. There may yet be hope for him, but only time will tell. Next up at number 7, we have Chris Paul. Now, this player might not be one of the most prominent ones in the league, and neither is he one of the youngest. So, what does he have still going for him? His is an unbeatable mid-range game. Paul, also known as the Point of God, is one of the best point guards in the league. His pick and roll game and his talent at the free throw line haven't declined yet. Last season, the point guard proved that he's capable of much more, and even at the age of 37, we might still see some impressive stats from him this season. What stopped him from being higher on this list is when his weakness in defense was targeted by the Mavericks last season. We saw that despite his creativity as a playmaker, he might still need some improvement on the defensive end. He was even discussed as a potential MVP contender, so let's see if he gives it his all and ends his career with a bang. At number 6, we have Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard was on the right track and racked up his numbers before his success was cut short due to an abdominal injury. This put an end to his 2021-22 season pretty early. After only 29 games, he realized that his injury was seriously handicapping him, and he was reaching career lows because of it. He couldn't shoot and was forced to stop playing, but now that he's had time to heal and enough rest, he's on the path to greatness. He's still very young, and he may not even be at his peak yet. He started the season off well, and with proper support from his team, all that remains is a big show from him before the end of the season. That'll be the final boost to put him in the big leagues. He hasn't played for some time, but his future looks very bright. Could we be looking at a future Hall of Famer? At number 5, we have Ja Morant. Now, this is one player who shocked everyone last season with his performance. He didn't just improve his game, he took it to the next level. His performance was so amazing that he even became an MVP candidate. His offense improved by a huge margin, and he even reached career highs last season. His average was 30+ points, and his career high was 52 points in a game against the Spurs. His numbers were wild. Morant was also the only point guard to make it to the top 10 players in the last season. Now, it's not even shocking that he's in the top 5, is it? With a good start in the current season as well, he might just be the deadliest force on the court. His improvement on defense will also take the Grizzlies forward. What do you think, guys? Future MVP or not? Moving on at number 4, we have LaMelo Ball. Ball is one of those players who show what they're made up of after a few seasons in the league. Before that, they're just warming up. Ball started the previous season pretty well and even made it to the All-Star team. It may be their coach or it may be his own improvement, but he's become one of the best point guards in the league. His creative plays and fast moves were nothing short of impressive. Our star also scored 20-plus points in almost 40 games and recorded 5 triple-doubles. He's shown us how dominant and brutal he can be on offense and how impressive his court vision is. With unconventional approaches, he's managed to set the court for deadly plays. Now that he's improved significantly on the offensive side, we might just see some improvements on defense too. Whatever the result is, we can say for sure that Ball is climbing up, and we're just waiting for that one day when he makes it to the top 3 in the league. At number 3, we have Trae Young. Young is leading the Hawks further and further in the league. He's still getting his numbers high, and last season was one of his best. He even gave it his all in the regular season, scoring 40-plus points in several games, and a career high of 56 points. Young might just become a part of a duo with the newbie DeJounte Murray. Since Young lacks in defense, Murray looks like he can cover that up. If the two manage to create plays that complement the other, they might just become a force to be reckoned with on the court. They both look like they work well together, and like we've seen with NBA duos before, that always benefits the team. With the two helping each other out, one on offense and the other on defense, the Hawks' future in the season is looking very bright. At number 2, we have Luka Doncic. Putting him in the top 3 was an easy decision. Doncic is a beast when it comes to offense. How do we know that? Because it's managed to put him in the top 5 in the league. He has managed to annihilate any kind of defense that the opposing team tries to use on him. A lot of people were shocked by his stats since he had a rough start to the season. Doncic is one of the 3 players in the NBA to have at least 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. He led the Mavs to the Western Conference Finals and might take them even further this season. His playoff stats were insane, and calling him a potential MVP isn't even a far-fetched claim now. With all this, can you believe he's just 23 years old? He's gotten 40-plus points in the last season, and if his team can give him the support he needs, he can win the game himself and prove to everyone what he's truly capable of. Finally, at number 1, we have Stephen Curry. We saved the best for last. The 4-time NBA champion, MVP frontrunner, the best point guard in the NBA, and someone who can beat the whole defense on his own. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Stephen Curry. Curry was one of the core players who helped the Warriors win the championship title last season. He's 34 now, so you might expect an average player to slow down, but he's just getting started. Anyone who knows the Golden State Warriors knows Stephen Curry. He's managed to single-handedly become the leader of the Warriors' offense. Curry isn't just talented on offense, but he's also managed to improve his defense over time. He's a great playmaker and lays the ground for his team during a game. We've heard recent discussions of whether or not he's the greatest point guard in the history of the NBA, and he still has a few years to go. Curry has already managed to cement himself as the top 10 in the league, and he's also on the path to becoming one of the all-time greats. That's all for this video. Which point guard is the best in your opinion? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.